Hey, you. Yeah, you right there. Listening? Let me tell you something before we even get into the heavy stuff, because you deserve a proper greeting today. You deserve someone looking you dead in the eye and actually acknowledging what you've been through, what you've carried, how you kept showing up when everybody swore you were done. So, hey, glad you made it. Seriously, because you have no idea how rare your kind of resilience is, how wild it is to still be standing when life had you on the ropes, when every voice around you whispered that you weren't built for this, that you'd break, that you'd fold, and yet, here you are, still breathing, still pushing, still proving you weren't the one to underestimate. And, that's exactly why I'm talking to you today. Because something happened to you that most people don't survive. Something subtle, something quiet, something sacred. You passed heaven's review with flying colors, and now the shadows are whispering, who released you? And oh, you have no idea how delicious that is. See, people think the real battles are loud, screaming matches, broken friendships, public betrayals. Nah. The real battles are the silent ones, the ones nobody sees, the ones you fought alone at 2 a.m., the ones you couldn't even explain to the people closest to you, the ones you carried in your chest like a bomb, praying it wouldn't detonate on the wrong day, the kind where the world just keeps spinning like nothing's happening while your whole existence is burning behind your ribs. And the crazy part? You didn't just survive those battles. You excelled. You didn't just crawl out. You walked out with your integrity intact. You didn't just make it through. You grew teeth, backbone, awareness, instincts. Heaven didn't just look at you. It studied you. It analyzed you. It ran the full diagnostics on you and said, this one's built different. And that's where the fun begins. Because when heaven signs off on you, the shadows start panicking. And don't get it twisted. When I say shadows, I'm not talking about monsters under your bed or some spooky nonsense. I'm talking about people, energies, environments, patterns, traumas, the things that benefited from your silence, the things that depended on your confusion, the things that grew strong when you doubted yourself. You ever notice how the moment you finally get clarity, something starts trying to drag you back? How the minute you start moving different, thinking different, choosing different, the whispers get louder, the doubts get heavier. Random people start acting strange. Opportunities come wrapped in chaos. Old wounds try to reopen. Yeah, that's the shadows whispering, who released you? Because you weren't supposed to figure yourself out. You weren't supposed to heal this much. You weren't supposed to recognize your worth. You weren't supposed to break the patterns that chained you. You weren't supposed to stop chasing validation. You weren't supposed to choose yourself. You weren't supposed to get this strong. You were supposed to stay stuck. You were supposed to stay small. You were supposed to stay scared. But, you messed around and passed heaven's review like a top-tier student who didn't even study, and now everything that once controlled you is scrambling to understand how you slipped through its fingers. And I'm telling you right now, that confusion, that panic, that who released you, energy you feel in the air, it's because you walked right out of the life they built for you. You walked out of the identity that wasn't yours. You walked out of the expectations that strangled you. You walked out of the narrative they kept forcing on your name. And your walk, your quiet little walk out of their boxes, has the shadows losing their minds because they don't recognize you anymore. They don't know how to control this version of you. They don't know how to manipulate this version of you. They don't know how to predict this version of you. You're unpredictable now. You're unshakable now. You're uncontrollable now. You're not governed by fear, but by awareness. You're not powered by anger, but by purpose. You're not fueled by pain, but by clarity. And the shadows hate clarity. Shadows thrive in confusion. They live in assumptions. They feast on insecurity. But you shine in ways that expose everything around you. Your growth is like switching the lights on in a room that's been dark for years. Every fake intention, every hidden motive, every passive-aggressive jab, suddenly visible, suddenly obvious, suddenly powerless. And that's why they whisper. They whisper because they're hoping you'll shrink again. They whisper because they're hoping you'll doubt yourself again. They whisper because the old version of you was manageable, predictable, easy to drain. But this new you, the one that passed heaven's review, is wired differently. You ask real questions now. You see patterns now. You don't tolerate nonsense now. You set boundaries now. You choose peace over chaos now. You choose the long term over the emotional impulse now. You choose yourself. And that's what scares them. They never thought you'd choose yourself. They never thought you'd be the one who breaks the generational cycle. They never thought you'd be the one who chooses healing over revenge. They never thought you'd be the one who walks away instead of exploding. They never thought you'd be the one who becomes self-aware. But here you are, walking with a kind of heaviness that only earned wisdom can give you. Moving with a kind of silence that only comes from deep inner evolution. Holding yourself with a kind of calm that looks almost supernatural to people who remember the reactive, wounded version of you. And that's why the whispers sound scared. Because you weren't supposed to rise. You weren't supposed to glow. You weren't supposed to detach. You weren't supposed to elevate. You weren't supposed to become this version. The one that sees through facades. The one that understands energy. The one that knows when to speak and when to leave. The one that no longer needs validation. The one that moves like someone who knows they're chosen. Someone who knows they're guided. Someone who knows they're not walking blind. And the wildest part? Heaven didn't release you by accident. You were released with intention, with design, with purpose, with timing. Because you've already proven you don't break easily. You've already proven you don't fold under pressure. You've already proven you don't lose yourself in noise. You've already proven you can handle the weight of your own calling. Yeah, a calling. A destiny they didn't think you'd qualify for. A power they didn't think you'd develop. A clarity they didn't think you'd survive long enough to receive. And now you're walking around with all this growth, all this strength, all this awareness. And the shadows are whispering because they're hoping, desperately hoping, that you don't realize what you've become. Because, here's the real twist they were never prepared for. You didn't just become stronger, you became aware of your strength. That's the part that really shakes the room. Not the power itself, but the moment you finally realize you have it. The moment you stop apologizing for it. The moment you stop downplaying it just to make other people comfortable. The moment you stop shrinking yourself into the little boxes people built for the old version of you. The minute you caught yourself thinking, wait, I'm actually built for bigger things. Everything around you started glitching, like reality itself wasn't ready for you to wake up like that. Because awareness is dangerous. Awareness changes how you move. Awareness changes what you tolerate. Awareness changes what you attract. You're not walking like prey anymore. You're walking like someone who understands the power in their chest, the clarity in their mind, the history in their backbone. And, people feel that. Even if they don't know the details, they feel something shifting in you. They feel the emotional gravity changing. They feel you pulling away from the things that used to drain you. They feel you growing into your own skin in a way that can't be undone. And that's when the whispers started turning into questions. Not just, who released you, but how did you get out? Who gave you permission? Who let you get this healed, this smart, this self-controlled? Because they were banking on you staying reactive, staying confused, staying overwhelmed. They were comfortable when you were scrambling for validation, chasing the wrong people, repeating the same cycles until you were too numb to care. But, the moment you started choosing yourself, everything that benefited from your pain started malfunctioning. You ever notice how once you get healthy, you start seeing just how unhealthy everything around you was? Like suddenly you're sitting in conversations you used to tolerate and thinking, hold on, why was I ever okay with this? Or you start revisiting old memories and you're like, wait, that wasn't normal, that wasn't love, that wasn't respect. That's what passing Heaven's Review does. It heightens your discernment. It sharpens your inner voice. It makes you allergic to the stuff that once held you hostage. It rewires you from someone who reacts to someone who recognizes. And that recognition is exactly what the shadows fear. Because once you recognize the pattern stops working. Once you recognize the manipulation loses its grip. Once you recognize your own worth, nobody can price you below it again. Once you recognize the traps, they stop being traps. And, that's terrifying to anyone who relied on your blindness. Because the old you would have argued with people who weren't even worth the breath. The old you would have chased closeness with people who didn't value your presence. The old you would have tried to prove yourself to people who already made up their minds about you. The old you would have poured into cups that had holes at the bottom, thinking something was wrong with you when nothing ever stayed full. The old you would have broken down, trying to hold up cycles that were never meant to last. But you're not handling anything like that anymore. You've got this subtle calm now. You're quieter, you're observing more, you're choosing silence in places where you used to explode. You're walking away from drama that used to suck you in. You're detaching from narratives that used to define you. You're unlearning habits that kept you stuck. You're rejecting the identities people forced onto you when you were too tired to fight back. And that small shift, those tiny internal upgrades, are freaking out every shadow in your orbit. Because, the shadows remember you at your lowest. They remember you when you were unsure of yourself. They remember when your confidence was paper thin. They remember when their words cut deeper than reality. They remember when your loyalty blinded you from seeing who deserved it. They remember when they could count on your silence, your confusion, your, "It's okay, I'll just take it." They remember when you didn't know how powerful you actually were. But this version of you, the one walking around with heaven's stamp of approval, the one that's finally self-aware, the one that sees the bigger picture, you're unpredictable, and unpredictable people are impossible to control. You're not acting out of fear anymore. You're not acting out of desperation anymore. You're acting out of knowledge. You're acting out of groundedness. You're acting out of a clarity that only comes from passing tests that nearly destroyed you. And, Something about that makes you glow in a way you probably don't even notice yet. You've got this aura of someone who's been through the fire and came out not just alive, but refined. You carry yourself like someone who knows things about yourself, things about other people, things about life. You've got this heaviness, this depth, this emotional intelligence that can't be faked, can't be taught, can't be mimicked. And the shadows? They don't know how to approach someone with depth. Shallow intentions can't survive around deep awareness. Hidden motives can't survive around sharpened intuition. Fake love can't survive around real self-worth. People who only knew the wounded version of you don't know how to handle the healed one. They don't know what buttons to push anymore. They don't know what lies will stick. They don't know which version of you they're talking to because the old one doesn't exist. They're talking to a ghost of who you used to be, while the real you keeps evolving behind the scenes. And that's the part that keeps them whispering, because once you evolve past the point of manipulation, the people who depended on your confusion start losing access. The people who fed off your insecurities start starving. The environments that drained you stop getting your energy for free. The cycles that trapped you stop repeating because you're not participating anymore. The shadows aren't whispering because you're weak. They're whispering because you're finally dangerous to the patterns that once controlled you. And, it hits different when you stop fighting to prove your worth and start moving like someone who already knows it. It hits different when you realize silence can be more powerful than arguments. It hits different when you realize you don't need closure to move on. It hits different when you realize peace was always the point. And once you taste that, once you feel that internal shift, once you realize how much unnecessary weight you used to carry, you start walking like someone who refuses to go back to that old emotional prison. Because, the deeper you step into this version of yourself, the more you start realizing something wild. Your energy isn't just different, it's disruptive. You walk into rooms and the atmosphere shifts a little. You speak and people listen in ways they never used to. You stay quiet and they get even more uncomfortable because silence from someone who used to over-explain is louder than any argument could ever be. You carry this calm that unnerves anyone who benefited from your chaos. You carry this awareness that exposes anyone who wasn't genuine. You carry this healed presence that forces people to either rise with you or fall away completely. And, a lot of people don't like that choice. They don't like seeing you evolve because it reminds them of everything they refused to confront in themselves. Your growth is like a mirror they never asked for. Your clarity makes their excuses look childish. Your strength exposes their avoidance. Your emotional maturity makes their games look small. And the moment someone feels seen by your presence, they start acting weird, trying to pull you back into older versions of yourself because they're threatened by the one standing in front of them. That's the thing about passing heaven's review. It didn't just upgrade you, it made you a walking truth serum. Your energy reveals intentions, your intuition catches inconsistencies, your boundaries highlight disrespect, your peace exposes drama. And, some people aren't ready to be seen like that. They aren't ready to be held accountable by your existence. They aren't ready to adjust to someone who's no longer operating from brokenness. They're used to the version of you who didn't know their value, who tolerated too much, who forgave too fast, who doubted themselves before doubting others. And that's why you've been feeling this weird tension around certain people. Why conversations feel heavier, why your patience for surface-level nonsense has evaporated, why you feel disconnected from environments you once clung to. You're not malfunctioning, you're evolving. You're not distant, you're discerning. You're not cold, you're finally protecting the parts of you that used to bleed for everyone. And whether you've noticed it or not, that protection has made you glow differently. Not that flashy, performative glow people fake for social media. I'm talking about that deep, grounded glow that comes from actually doing the inner work. The glow of someone who forgave themselves for staying too long. The glow of someone who healed wounds others handed to them. The glow of someone who outgrew their old survival patterns. The glow of someone who isn't desperate for love, validation, attention, or approval anymore. That glow is terrifying to anyone who is banking on your brokenness, because broken people are easy to manipulate. Confused people are easy to drain. Lost people are easy to influence. But someone who knows who they are, someone who trusts their intuition, someone who isn't afraid to be alone, someone who can walk away from anything that disturbs their inner peace, yeah, that person is a threat to every shadow that depended on your uncertainty. That's why you're being whispered about. That's why you're being watched differently. Not because you failed, because you passed in a way they never imagined you could. You didn't just pass the test. You transcended the version of yourself that the test was designed for. You outgrew the very battles that were supposed to break you. You didn't crumble under pressure. You crystallized. You didn't lose yourself in darkness. You learned to see in it. And, that's where the fear comes from. Not your power, but your self-awareness. Power without awareness is wild, unstable, chaotic. But power with awareness, that's precision, that's strategy, that's evolution. That's the kind of energy that walks with intention instead of impulse. The kind that doesn't need to prove anything because it is. The kind that doesn't beg to be understood because it understands itself. The kind that doesn't chase what's running because it knows what's aligned will stay. You stepped into a version of you that the shadows never planned for. A version that's too wise to fall for distractions, too grounded to be baited into old conflicts, too healed to entertain familiar chaos. And it's messing with the entire ecosystem around you because they relied on a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. And the wildest part, you're still becoming. You're still unfolding. You're still growing into layers of yourself that you haven't even fully tapped into yet. You're still surprising people who thought they had you figured out. You're still rewriting patterns that were passed down through generations. You're still breaking ceilings that no one in your bloodline ever reached. You're still discovering strengths that weren't accessible to you before you healed the wounds blocking them. And, the deeper you evolve, the more you start noticing that your presence is doing something strange to the world around you. You walk into situations you used to collapse under, and they don't even shake you anymore. You hear things that used to cut you in half, and they barely scratch the surface. You face temptations that used to pull you back into old cycles, and you just don't bite. You watch familiar dramas unfold, and instead of getting sucked in, you feel this quiet detachment, like you're watching a rerun of a show you've finally outgrown. And it's wild, right? Because you're not trying to be different. It's just happening. It's like life recalibrated around your new awareness. Like heaven said, yeah, this one's ready. And everything started shifting accordingly. You're not reacting from woundedness anymore. Hey you. Yeah, you. Come here for a sec. I want you to actually hear this, because you keep brushing it off like it's nothing, like you're just doing your thing. Like you didn't just shift the whole temperature of the room without even trying. You walk in, breathe different, move different, exist different, and suddenly everyone's whispering like, nah, no way he did that. No way he pulled that off. You got him shook as hell, and you're out here acting like you don't see it. See, that's the part that kills me. You think it's normal? You think it's supposed to feel like this? You think everybody gets this reaction? No. Listen, look at me for a second. Most people live their whole damn lives without ever disrupting a room, a circle, a timeline, a narrative. And you sneeze wrong and suddenly the whole crowd's like, bro, what the hell just happened? Because whether you admit it or not, there's something in you that keeps breaking expectations, keeps bending the script, keeps forcing people to rewrite everything they thought they understood about you. And it's funny, right? They swear they've figured you out, and then you go do something that makes their whole internal GPS say, recalculating. You got them confused, you got them startled, you got them emotionally off balance, and they don't even know how to talk about it without whispering your name first. You ever notice that? Really notice it? The way they lean in when they mention you. The way their voice drops. The way they try to turn it into a joke. Nah, no way he did that. Because that's easier than admitting you opened a door they were too scared to even knock on. And here's the wild part. They're not just shocked at what you did. They're shocked that you were the one who did it. Because deep down, they were hoping you'd stay predictable. Stay small, stay manageable. Stay someone they could explain to other people. But you went and did something that made them question if they ever actually knew you at all. You ever notice how quiet people get after your breakthroughs? Like, they want to say something, but they can't, because they don't have the vocabulary for the version of you that just showed up. It's not jealousy. It's not admiration. It's something deeper, something they can't categorize without confronting their own limits. They can't understand how you moved that fast, how you made that decision, how you handled that pain, how you carried that weight, how you survived that chapter that would have destroyed them. You scare them because you make the impossible look casual, like it's just Tuesday for you. You walk through doors they thought were locked. You heal from wounds they thought would break you. You stand back up from falls that would have ended their story completely. And that's why they talk. It's not disrespect. It's not hate. It's disbelief. It's shock. It's emotional overload. It's them realizing that the person they underestimated is the same person rewriting every rule they thought mattered. And you don't even do it loudly. You don't announce it. You don't ask for applause. You don't make a scene. You just move, and suddenly the air feels different. That's what rattles them. That's what keeps them up at night. That's what makes conversations pause mid-sentence when your name comes up. Because nobody knows what you're gonna do next. And, that unpredictability, that's power, that's presence, that's pressure they can't ignore even if they try. You got them rethinking their own lives just by existing in yours. You got people battling their insecurities because your growth exposed their stagnation. You got people checking their pulse after watching you break barriers they were too scared to approach. And look, I know sometimes you feel alone. I know sometimes you feel misunderstood. I know sometimes you think you're too much or too intense. or too different, or too ambitious, or too unpredictable. But listen carefully. Come closer. You are not too much. They're just not enough for the version of reality you've unlocked. You didn't scare them because you did something wrong. You scared them because you finally did something right. Because you refused to stay where they placed you. Because you refused to accept the limits they tried to hand you. Because you refused to shrink when you were built to expand. And that moment, that exact moment, when you show flashes of the person you truly are, that's when the room gets quiet. That's when the whispers start. That's when the crowd goes, "Nah, no way he did that." Because it's terrifying to realize you're watching someone evolve in real time. And even more terrifying when that someone is you. So yeah, they're shook, they're rattled, they're trying to process it. They're trying to convince themselves it was luck or timing or coincidence. Anything but the truth. The truth being that you've only shown them the opening scene of what you're capable of. And deep down, every one of them knows they're not ready for the full movie. And you can feel it too, right? That weird mix of tension in the air and eyes on your back. Like everybody's pretending they're not watching you, but their whole spirit is tuned in to your next move. Because once you shock people like that, once you hit them with something that shakes their version of you, they start studying you in silence. They start analyzing every little thing you do, like, bro, what's he plotting next? And it's funny, because you're not even plotting. You're just existing at a level they didn't expect you to reach this early. You ever notice how people act when they're nervous about your potential? They get weirdly polite, or weirdly quiet, or weirdly energetic, like they're trying to hide the fact that they're low-key intimidated by the way you move. It's like you walked into their mental blueprint and rearranged the furniture without asking. And the wild part is, they'll act confused like you did something insane, when all you did was finally act like the version of yourself you were meant to be this whole time. Like you gave them one quick preview of the real you, the unfiltered you, and it short-circuited their entire emotional Wi-Fi. People keep whispering, nah, there's no way he did that. But what they're really saying is, if he can do that, what else is he capable of? And that question sits heavy in their chest, because it forces them to confront something they don't want to admit. You're outgrowing the version of themselves they built in their heads. And, you can tell they feel that shift. You can feel it too. The way conversations hit a pause when you walk past. The way some folks suddenly remember to compliment you. The way others get quieter, like they're hoping you won't notice they're recalculating their entire opinion of you. There's this energy you carry now, this presence that wasn't always loud but always undeniable. It's like you broke through something. Maybe a limit, maybe a fear, maybe a storyline. And the moment you did, people around you felt the echo of it in their own lives. And the thing is, you didn't achieve some little highlight moment. You created a shift in how they see you, a shift in how they talk about you, a shift in how they prepare for your next move. That's why the whispers got louder. That's why the stares got longer. That's why the conversation started with your name before anything else. Because there's this feeling, this vibe, that you're stepping into something they can't predict. And unpredictability terrifies people who need structure to feel safe. You walk differently now. Even if you don't notice it, you talk differently. Even if you think you don't. There's this quiet confidence forming in your chest, and it leaks out in ways you don't even realize. People sense it before you do. People react to it before you acknowledge it. People try to make sense of it before you understand what's happening inside you. And something in you has been waking up, slowly, painfully, relentlessly. And every time it rises, the world around you adjusts. You're not intimidating them with arrogance, you're intimidating them with evidence. Evidence that you're not who you used to be. Evidence that you're moving faster than the limits they placed on you. Evidence that you're becoming someone they didn't prepare for. You ever notice how some folks who used to talk over you suddenly listen more? Or how the ones who used to underestimate you suddenly act like they've always believed in you? Or how the ones who were comfortable around you start getting awkward, like they're trying to hide the fact that they don't know how to approach the new version of you. That's the thing. Once you break the image they built of you, their whole sense of control collapses. And people don't like losing control of their narratives, especially when the person rewriting it is the same one they swore would never make it past the first chapter. You stepped past something big, and whether you realize it or not, everyone around you felt that breakthrough in their bones. It's not that they doubt what you did, it's that they doubt their ability to keep up with the person who did it. And while they're out here whispering, second-guessing, replaying your moves in their heads, trying to understand who you're turning into, you're just getting started. And, you can almost feel this pressure building around you, right? Not a bad pressure. More like this quiet awareness that people are treating you differently, adjusting themselves around you, like you're some kind of emotional earthquake they're trying to stand steady through. Because once you shock people like that, once you do something that hits their spirit harder than their ego was ready for, everything shifts in ways you don't even realize at first. They start watching your smallest moves like they're big moves. They start overthinking your silence like it's strategy. They start interpreting your calm as confidence they can't match. You can tell by the way they pause before speaking to you, by the way they laugh a little too hard when you talk, by the way they start sentences with, "Bro, you're different," and then pretend they didn't mean it. There's this aura around you now that wasn't as loud before. This vibe of someone who's been through something and didn't break from it. Someone who hit a wall and walked through it anyway. Someone who keeps leveling up in ways that make people nervous because they don't know how to categorize you anymore. And, it's kind of wild to think about, because you didn't ask for any of this attention. You weren't chasing validation or applause. All you did was handle your business with a little more intensity than usual, a little more courage than they expected, a little more resilience than they thought you had left. And suddenly everybody's whispering your name like you're a plot twist, like you're the part of the story they didn't see coming, like you're the lesson they didn't study for. People love stability, even in other people. They love predictable characters because predictable characters keep their world simple. But you messed that up without even meaning to. You changed your internal script, and the moment you did, their whole understanding of you became outdated. You ever upgrade your phone and suddenly all your old apps glitch out because the system can't handle the new version? That's them right now. They're glitching because you updated. And the funniest part is, you can see it in their eyes. That anxious curiosity. They're worried, impressed, intimidated, inspired, confused, all at the same time. They don't know if they should cheer for you. keep their distance, or just pretend they're not replaying what you did in their head, trying to decode it. It's that kind of energy you give off when you finally stop apologizing for your strength. That quiet type of power that isn't loud, isn't performative, isn't forced. It's just there, present, undeniable. And when people sense that kind of energy, they start moving weird around you. Some act extra friendly, like they're trying to stay close because your glow makes their shadows feel smaller. Some get distant, like they're trying to protect their ego from whatever you're awakening in them. Some just stare like they're waiting for the next plot twist you haven't even written yet. And you can feel them recalibrating their expectations in real time. You can feel them studying the new rhythm you're moving in. You can feel them trying to understand how you keep surviving things that were supposed to bury you, how you keep bouncing back from storms that should have wiped you out, how you keep showing up stronger, sharper, calmer every single time they think you're done. That's why they're talking, that's why they're shook, that's why they're whispering like they witnessed something unreal. You didn't just surprise them. You exposed a version of you they never imagined existed, and they're still processing that reveal, while you're already stepping into the next layer of yourself. And, it's almost hilarious how they're still trying to catch up to something you did without even thinking twice. Like you made one bold move, one unexpected decision, and it flipped their whole internal storyline upside down. You can feel it in the air. That heavy, charged silence people get when they realize you're not operating on the level they tried to pin you to. It's like you stepped out of the version of yourself they were comfortable with, and the second you did, their confidence in understanding you evaporated. They're replaying the moment in their heads, trying to analyze it frame by frame like you're some unsolved mystery. Nah, no way he did that. They keep saying it because the truth rattles something deep inside them. And there's this tension underneath their reactions, this mix of disbelief and low-key awe, as if your growth forces them to confront their own lack of movement. People don't get shook by mediocrity. They get shook by transformation they didn't prepare for. You ever notice how their energy shifts when you walk in now? How they straighten up or get quieter, or act overly casual like they're trying not to show they've been thinking about you. That's not coincidence, that's impact. You're giving off that unpredictable vibe now, that sense of, he might do something wild at any moment. And it scares them, because a person who can move without permission is someone they can't control. What you did felt simple to you, but for them it was a wake-up call, a reminder that you're not who you were last year, last month, last week. And it's wild because you can see them fluctuating between admiration and fear. Some are impressed like, yo, he really did that. Others are threatened like, why him, though? Some are secretly inspired, trying to copy your moves without understanding your mindset. That's the thing, though. They didn't see the hours you spent doubting yourself. They didn't see the nights you stayed awake wrestling with your own thoughts. They didn't see the parts of you that had to break first before you rebuilt anything. All they saw was the final move, the breakthrough moment, the loud echo of something you've been quietly preparing for. And their shock isn't really about the action. It's about realizing you had that level inside you the whole time without showing it. It shakes people to witness your evolution because it forces them to reevaluate every moment they underestimated you. They start thinking back on past conversations, past interactions, past jokes they made at your expense, past doubts they whispered behind your back. And it hits them. They weren't dealing with the finished version of you. They were dealing with a draft. And if the draft version of you could already pull off something that powerful, they're terrified of what the updated version might look like. That's why they're unsettled. That's why they keep whispering your name like a plot twist they're still recovering from. That's why they keep saying, "Nah, no way he did that." Like repeating it will calm their nerves. But the funny thing is, you're not even surprised by yourself anymore. There's a part of you that's been waiting to step into this energy, waiting to stop downplaying your capabilities, waiting to stop shrinking for people who never offered you space. It's like something clicked inside you. Not loudly, not dramatically, just this subtle internal shift where you realized you're done living at 10% of your potential. And once you made that quiet internal decision, your external world didn't stand a chance. People can sense when someone stops doubting themselves. It creates a ripple, a vibration that makes everyone aware something is changing even before you open your mouth. You're walking with a different weight now, not heavier, just truer. And they feel that authenticity like a shock wave. What you did wasn't even the peak of what you're capable of. It was just the first glimpse, the first spark, the first sign that you're stepping into a version of yourself that refuses to be ignored anymore. And you can almost feel this new awareness settling into your skin, like your presence is heavier, but in a good way, in a way that makes people look twice without even realizing they're doing it. It's that kind of shift that doesn't ask for attention. It just draws it, naturally, silently, irresistibly, and people don't know how to react because they've never seen you operate from this place before. They're watching you like you flipped some internal switch they didn't know existed, and the crazy part is, you didn't even flip it loudly. You didn't make an announcement or a speech or a grand gesture. You just moved differently, a little sharper, a little more intentional, a little more in tune with who you actually are beneath all the noise. And they felt it instantly. You can tell by the way their eyes linger a second longer, by the way conversations stumble when you walk in, by the way people who never cared suddenly keep asking, "You good?" Like they're trying to decode your mindset without making it obvious. Because that thing you did, that one move that had everybody going, "Nah, no way he pulled that off," it cracked something open in their perception. It forced them to update the version of you they had saved in their heads. And updates scare people, especially when the new version is stronger than they expected. It's like you walked into their mental filing system and erased every label they ever put on you. Every limitation, every assumption, every quiet expectation that you'd stay predictable, stay manageable, stay the person they could underestimate without consequence. But the second you did what they swore was impossible, you became a variable they can't solve, a complication in their narrative, a reminder that they misread you completely. You can feel that shift in their body language, the stiffness, the forced casualness, the fake confidence. People start acting weird when they can't figure you out anymore. They start treating you like you're dangerous, even if you're the calmest person in the room, because unpredictability feels like power to them. And the wild part is, you didn't change to impress them. You changed because life forced you to grow in spaces nobody saw. Because you faced things alone that would have broken half the people talking about you. Hey, yeah, You. Come on, pull closer for a second. Because, we really need to talk about what you just did. Because you opened your mouth. And shit, you ended the peace treaty, and now everybody's panicking, spinning, sweating, gasping, because you dared to say the one thing everybody else kept swallowing like poison. You didn't whisper, you didn't soften it, you didn't ask for permission, you just said it, raw and unfiltered, like someone who finally got tired of pretending the room wasn't full of lies. And the beautiful part? You said it in that way. That razor-sharp, no more bees, this is what it is tone that makes people shift in their seats and suddenly forget how to breathe. And you know what? Good. 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 Because you've been quiet for too long. You've been the let's keep the peace person for so long that your tongue should have been nominated for a Nobel Prize by now. You carried the calm, the silence, the compromise, the restraint, like some kind of emotional pack mule. But they took advantage of that, didn't they? They treated your peace like it was their playground. They poked, provoked, pushed, tested, twisted, thinking you'd never snap, never talk, never break formation. But today? Today, you surprised the whole damn crowd. You said the truth that was rotting behind everyone's backs. You cut the tension with a sentence. You dropped a verbal grenade into the middle of a fake smile circle. And the funniest part, you weren't even trying to start a war. You were just tired of acting. That's the thing they never understand about you. You don't speak to cause chaos. You speak because you've reached the point where silence feels like self-betrayal. And when someone like you, someone who's been holding everything in, someone who's been the glue, the balance, the calm before every storm, when you finally speak, everybody panics because the peace treaty was never built to protect you. It was built to control you, to keep you predictable, to keep you safe for them. And you finally realized that their peace was just a polite cage. Look at what happened the second you spoke. People froze. People stuttered. People grew quiet, like you suddenly turned into some kind of walking mirror they didn't want to look into. Your words hit them harder than any punch because it wasn't anger. It was truth. And truth is the one thing people fear more than consequences. Truth rearranges rooms. Truth reorganizes alliances. Truth exposes who was real and who was just comfortable. Do you see it now? The panic around you isn't chaos. It's clarity. They're not scared of you. They're scared of what you now represent. You represent a version of yourself that doesn't swallow the disrespect. A version that doesn't shrink to keep others comfortable. A version that doesn't play nice with people who weaponize peace as a leash. A version that speaks, even if your voice shakes, even if your heart's pounding through your chest like it's trying to escape. And, honestly, this version of you is dangerous in the best way possible. Because once you taste authenticity, once you experience that raw, unfiltered liberation of saying what everybody else is too scared to admit, there's no going back. You've crossed the line, not into war, but into yourself. Into that place where your voice doesn't quiver anymore. Where your boundaries don't bend for the sake of avoiding someone else's tantrum. Where you say what needs to be said without rehearsing it in your head for 6 months. Where you stop apologizing for things you didn't do wrong. Where you stop managing other people's emotions like it's your part-time job. People aren't panicking because you ended the peace treaty. They're panicking because you ended their control over you. You snapped the illusion. You tore down the stage props. You kicked open the door they hoped you'd keep locked forever. And now they're scrambling fumbling, grabbing excuses, acting confused, pretending they didn't hear you clearly. But they heard you. Oh, they heard every syllable. They just didn't expect you to say it. They didn't expect you to finally stop playing the part they cast you in. See, in their heads, you were supposed to be predictable, quiet, compliant, noble, forgiving, and you still might be those things when people deserve it. But when someone keeps mistaking your tolerance for weakness, when someone keeps assuming you'll never stand up, never retaliate, never call out what's been eating your sanity, eventually, even the nicest person grabs the mic and burns the script. You didn't end a peace treaty. You ended a performance, and that scares them because you finally stopped living according to everyone else's, "Don't say that, don't bring that up, don't ruin the vibe, don't make things uncomfortable, just let it go, don't start drama," rule book. Where was that energy when they were stepping on your boundaries? Where was that energy when they were lying through their teeth? Where was that energy when you were drowning while keeping the peace for everyone else? They loved peace when it benefited them. But the second you wanted peace too, real peace, not the fake type, they called you dramatic. They called you too much. They called you messy. And then you spoke, and suddenly they're the messy ones. Suddenly they're the overwhelmed ones. Suddenly they're the victims of the truth they created themselves. So, listen closely. You're not the villain for finally protecting your own sanity. You're not wrong for saying what needed to be said. You're not guilty for disrupting a fake harmony that existed only because you stayed silent. You did what strong people do. You chose yourself over the comfort of people who never chose you. And whether they panic, run, cry, deny, twist, or act brand new, you keep speaking. Because the treaty was never peace. It was suppression dressed as harmony. And the moment you opened your mouth, you walked into the version of yourself you were always meant to become. The version that doesn't choke on the truth. The version that doesn't apologize for clarity. The version that knows their voice carries weight. The kind of weight that shakes rooms, rearranges environments, and exposes weak foundations. And now you're dangerous. Not because you cause chaos, but because you tell the truth in a world built on pretending. And once you become that version of yourself, there's no treaty in the world strong enough to silence you again. Because once that switch flips in you, it doesn't switch back. And you feel it, right? That weird buzzing under your skin, that sense that you finally said something your soul has been begging you to say for years. It's like your chest got lighter and heavier at the same time. Lighter because you finally stopped carrying the lie. Heavier because you finally realized how much weight you've been carrying for everybody else. People can't process that version of you. They don't know what to do with someone who's no longer performing. Someone who's no longer biting their tongue until it bleeds. Someone who's no longer scared to disrupt the artificial calm that only existed because you were holding the entire situation together like emotional duct tape. And, honestly, the wildest part? You still weren't trying to destroy anything. You weren't trying to hurt anybody. You weren't trying to spark drama for the sake of it. You just finally said your truth at a volume they couldn't pretend to ignore anymore. You ever notice how people get offended when you stop swallowing the things they've been comfortably feeding you? How they suddenly act brand new when you stop absorbing the disrespect quietly. It's funny, right? Because you didn't change your character. You just changed your tolerance, and things have a way of getting loud when someone realizes they can't manipulate the situation like before. You can see it in their faces. That mix of shock, panic, and wait, you weren't supposed to do that. Like they genuinely believed they owned the script of your personality. Like they thought your silence was a permanent feature instead of a temporary mercy. That's what's shaking them right now. Not your words, your awakening. Not your tone, your boundary. Not your anger, your clarity. Clarity is the scariest thing to people who rely on your confusion. When you spoke, you didn't just break the peace treaty. You broke the delusion that you were ever afraid to speak. And that's why the energy in the room shifted. That's why people are pacing, whispering, texting in group chats, trying to rewrite the narrative before it spreads. That's why you're suddenly the problem, even though all you did was tell the truth they've been hiding from. People love a silent version of you because silence makes you easier to control. Silence makes you predictable. Silence keeps their comfort intact. Silence protects their image. But you didn't come into this world to be a soft place, for other people to land while they're a battlefield for you. You're not here to emotionally babysit grown adults who know exactly what they're doing. You're not here to spend your life staying quiet, to preserve someone else's fragile ego. You're not here to be the emotional trash bin for people who dump their mess on you and then call you too sensitive when you speak up. And, the thing that keeps echoing in your mind right now isn't guilt. It's relief. That relief is the most honest feeling you've had in a while. That's your inner voice stretching its limbs after being locked away for too long. You feel powerful right now in a way that scares even you. Not aggressive power, just unapologetic self-possession, like you finally walked into your real skin instead of the version they preferred. And this version of you sees everything clearer. You can spot manipulation before they even finish their sentence. You can sense disrespect before it even hits your ears. You can feel people's intentions like temperature changes in the room. You're not paranoid, you're not emotional, you're not dramatic, you're awake. Nobody prepares you for how loud life gets once you stop shrinking yourself. The jealousy gets louder. The guilt trips get louder. The passive-aggressive comments get louder. The fake peacekeepers get louder. The people who benefited from your silence get the loudest of all. Every reaction you're seeing right now is a confession, not a verbal confession, the behavioral kind. The panic is a confession. The defensiveness is a confession. The sudden distance, the silent treatment, the awkward tension, it's all confession. People don't act like that around someone who lied. They act like that around someone who said something true enough to expose them. And, you might not fully realize it, but the moment you opened your mouth, you unlocked a level of confidence that isn't based on being liked. It's based on being real. And once you start living real, even your breathing feels different. Your presence hits harder. Your silence becomes louder than their noise. Your decisions stop apologizing before they walk into the room. Because for the first time in a long time, you're not bending to fit into spaces that don't deserve you. You're not explaining yourself to people who refuse to understand you. You're not negotiating your worth like it's some coupon code they can redeem. You're not living by the keep the peace at your own expense rule book. And with every minute that passes, you feel that edge sharpening inside you. That I'm not playing small anymore energy. That I'm not swallowing my pain to protect your comfort energy. that I'm not pretending everything is fine when it's not. Energy. You feel it growing, rising, strengthening, like something inside you finally woke up after years of being sedated by politeness, and it keeps pulsing through you with every heartbeat, every breath, every thought. Like your whole system is recalibrating itself in real time. Almost like your soul finally found the power outlet it's been searching for. That feeling, that hum under your ribs, that low-level fire in your chest, that's not anger anymore. That's alignment. That's the real you standing up inside your own skin, stretching, cracking its knuckles, testing its voice like, yeah, this is how I was supposed to sound the whole time. And people feel that shift, even if they don't understand it. They look at you different, like you're suddenly unpredictable, like you might say the next thing they've been avoiding for years. You can see it in their eyes, the calculation, the nervous smile, the little half step back. Not because you're dangerous in a chaotic way, but because you're dangerous in a truthful way. That's the part they're terrified of. Truth coming from someone who finally stopped being scared of their reactions. It's almost funny, watching them scramble to reevaluate who you are. Like they're trying to figure out if you're the same version of you they used to comfortably disrespect. Like they're replaying old moments in their heads thinking, wait, if they could talk like this, what else have they been holding back? And the truth is, you've been holding back a lot. Years worth of patience. Years worth of swallowing things that hurt you. Years worth of pretending someone's intentions were pure when they were anything but. Years worth of carrying peace around like a fragile vase, making sure nobody else dropped it even when your own hands were shaking. But something inside you snapped in a good way. Like your spirit just said, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. And you listened. You didn't just speak, you reclaimed your authority. And once you reclaim that, everything else around you starts rearranging itself. People who depended on your silence start getting uncomfortable. People who fed off your compliance start losing access. People who thought you'd always stay quiet, you start panicking because you've exposed a part of yourself they never prepared for. And it's wild how fast they'll try to flip the narrative. Right. Suddenly you're aggressive. Suddenly you're overreacting. Suddenly you're ruining the vibe. Suddenly you're making things complicated. They're not talking about the truth you said. They're talking about the control they lost. Because someone who finally speaks after years of silence, that's someone who has nothing left to lose. That's someone who realized their voice is worth more than people's temporary comfort. That's someone who recognizes their own power. And there's no treaty for that, no rule book, no script. And, the craziest part? Even you feel different around yourself. Like you're reintroducing yourself to your own energy. Like you're thinking, damn, I didn't even know I had that in me. You hear your own voice in your memory, and it echoes deeper, stronger, more certain than you expected. It's not even just confidence. It's clarity mixed with backbone, mixed with tired of your BS energy. That combination turns people into forces of nature. The type of force that makes people rethink how they approach you. The type of force that makes people watch their tone, watch their words, watch their access. And, you can feel that shift, can't you? Like you're not walking the same anymore. Your steps feel grounded. Your breathing feels intentional. Your thoughts feel sharper. Your boundaries feel like steel. You're not flinching. You're not second-guessing yourself. You're not shrinking. You're not over-explaining. You're just standing there in the aftermath of your own truth, realizing that the panic around you is the sound of everyone adjusting to the real version of you. You're not out of control. You're finally in control. You're not breaking the peace. You're breaking the silence that protected everybody but you. And as you settle deeper into this version of yourself, that internal fire keeps burning steady, quiet, but undeniable. Like a reminder that your voice isn't something fragile to hide. It's something powerful to wield. And it keeps sitting there in your chest like this steadier drumbeat. Like your whole body finally synced up with a truth you've been avoiding because you didn't want to ruin things. But the wild reality is, things were already ruined, just quietly, secretly, behind the scenes. You were just the only one pretending otherwise. That's why everyone's so uncomfortable right now. Not because you went too far, not because you crossed a line, not because you made things awkward. It's because you said the thing they've been tiptoeing around, the thing they hoped you'd never bring up, the thing they counted on you being too polite, too scared, too self-doubting to say. Your voice didn't just land, it echoed, it exposed, it clarified, it peeled away the layers of everyone's fake composure. You ever notice how the truth doesn't need a microphone? You say it once and it just hangs in the air, vibrating through people who hoped you'd stay quiet forever. And, the silence that follows, that silence is never empty. It's full of recognition. It's full of guilt. It's full of the things they avoided acknowledging. And you standing there, unapologetic, chest steady, breathing even. That's what's shaking them. Because they expected you to crumble after speaking. They expected you to backpedal. They expected you to stutter and say, "I didn't mean it like that." But you didn't wobble. You didn't flinch. You didn't correct yourself to make them comfortable. You let the words stand exactly as they were. Raw, clear, unedited. That's when people realize you're not the same person they could manipulate. You're not the same person who absorbs the blame to keep the peace. You're not the same person who sacrifices their own emotional safety to protect everyone else's reputation. You're different now in a way that doesn't even require explanation. Your energy speaks first. Your face speaks first. Your silence speaks louder than their excuses, and, your boundaries show up before you do. People are learning that the version of you who doesn't fear discomfort is a version they can't control. They don't know how to navigate you when you're not prioritizing their comfort. They don't know how to handle you when your yes actually means yes, and your no actually means no, without all the emotional negotiation they're used to milking out of you. And the more they react, the more obvious it becomes that they were benefiting from your silence way more than they ever admitted. It wasn't a peace treaty, it was a silencing contract that only you were honoring. You broke that contract with one sentence, one truth, one moment of being tired of protecting people who don't protect you back. And, the way your mind feels sharper right now, that's not rage. It's self-respect, reconnecting itself. It's your intuition finally being allowed to speak full volume. It's your spirit saying, yeah, we're finally doing things my way. It's crazy how quickly your entire perspective upgrades when you stop forcing yourself to tolerate what drains you. You start seeing who's been talking behind your back. Hey, you listening right now? Yeah, you. Come here for a second. Let me talk to you real quick. Yeah, sit down, lock in. This one's gonna hit different. Because, top secret, clown please. It's a global hunt now. They can't hide anywhere and you know they're done. Oh, you felt that one in your bones, didn't you? All right, let's go. Let's go deep. Like really deep. Deeper than you usually let anyone go. And yeah, I'm gonna talk to you, second person, because this is your moment, not anybody else's. You know what's funny? You spent your whole life being told to chill, to wait, to humble down, to act like your instincts were too loud, your emotions were too much, your vision was too unrealistic. Every time you opened your mouth, someone tried to correct it. Every time you moved differently, someone tried to shrink it. Every time you sensed something off, somebody gaslit you into silence, and you played along for a while. You did the polite thing, the quiet thing, the don't make waves thing. But, guess what? You weren't wrong, you were aware. You picked up frequencies everyone else pretended not to hear. You saw the patterns, you felt the shifts, you caught the lies, you noticed the masks slipping, and now they're scrambling. Oh, they're scrambling like roaches under a kitchen light. Because it's not private anymore. It's not low-key anymore. It's not between us anymore. No. It's a global hunt now. And you're the one who sees everything clearly. You know what's wild? They thought you would freeze. They thought you would shake. They thought exposure would destroy you. But look at you. Look at the calm in your chest. Look at the way your breathing slows. Not from fear, but from understanding. Because you know something. Something they prayed you'd never realize. You're not the hunted. You're the awakening. You're the shift. You're the one who finally sees the whole board. You ever notice how people who did you dirty always assume you'll stay quiet? Like silence is your natural state, not a choice. Like your heart was built to take hits forever. But, yeah, that version of you doesn't exist anymore. That version of you died the moment the truth went global. You're different now. You're sharper. You're colder in all the right places. You're kinder in the places that matter. You're done negotiating with anyone who tried to profit from your weakness. And they can feel it. Oh, trust me, they feel it. They feel that shift in your energy, that I'm not playing small anymore tone in your voice. They feel the way you look at them, not with fear, not with confusion, but with clarity, with certainty, with that quiet Joker grin like, yeah, I know exactly what time it is. And that's why they're panicking. That's why they're trying to run. That's why they're making calls at 4 a.m., shaking, sweating, trying to rewrite the narrative. But they can't hide anywhere. Not from the truth, not from the consequences, not from the karma, not from you, because you're not chasing them. Nah, you're just standing still, and the truth is catching them for you. You're not even angry anymore. You're beyond anger. You're in that space where everything just clicks, where all the lies line up in a row, where all the fake apologies finally make sense, where all the missing pieces lock into place. You ever hit that moment where you go, ah, so that's what was happening this whole time? Yeah, you're there now, fully, completely, unapologetically, and don't get it twisted. You didn't get here because you're cruel. You didn't get here because you wanted revenge. You didn't get here because you love chaos. You got here because you finally respected yourself enough to see through the facade. You finally stopped minimizing your intuition, stopped explaining away the red flags, stopped shrinking so that cowards could feel comfortable. And the moment you did that, the moment you embraced that awareness, everything cracked open. You saw who was real and who was pretending. You saw who loved you and who used you. You saw who stood with you and who stood on you. And you also saw, clear as day, that some people were never victims. They were architects, designers of their own downfall. And now they're living in the blueprint they drew in secret. The top secret files. The things they tried to bury. The things they hid behind half smiles and handshake lies. Yeah, that stuff is global now. Global knowledge, global narrative, global consequences. And you're not scared, not even a little. Because deep down, you always knew the truth would choose your side. You always knew reality would defend you. You always knew that the day would come when the universe said, "Enough, let them be seen." And here we are, standing in the fire while you're walking through it like someone who finally realized they were fireproof the whole damn time. And you're not chasing validation. You're not chasing revenge. You're not chasing closure. You're chasing something far more dangerous. You're becoming, your evolution, your next form. And that's why they're done. Not because you destroyed them, but because you outgrew the version of you they could manipulate the moment you leveled up. Their entire strategy collapsed, and now they're exposed, global, visible, panicking. While you sit there with that calm Joker half-smile like, yeah, I told you I wasn't stupid. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to swing back. You don't need to announce anything. Your growth is the announcement. Your awareness is the announcement. Your silence is the announcement. And deep in your chest, you already feel what's coming next. Because, you feel that shift crawling up your spine, right? That weird mix of calm and danger sitting in your chest, like, I'm different now. I don't move the same. I don't think the same. I don't trust the same. And it's crazy how people start acting when you start acting like you finally respect yourself. They get jittery, they get defensive, they get loud, they get weird. You ever notice that? The louder they get, the quieter you become. And the quieter you get, the more they freak out, like they can feel their whole ecosystem collapsing in real time. And you're just standing there like, I've seen enough. I've felt enough. I don't need explanations anymore. Your energy is speaking for you at this point. Your silence hits harder than any speech they could try to give. They're out there trying to do damage control, scrambling like rats on a sinking ship, rehearsing half-truths in the mirror, building lies on top of lies that don't even line up with the version of reality they sold everybody. Meanwhile, you're over here, breathing easier than you've breathed in years, because everything finally makes sense. You're walking through your own life, like someone who's holding the master key. That's what scares them, not the truth, not the exposure, not the global hunt. It's you holding the master key to understanding everything they tried to hide. That's the part they can't deal with, like at all. They're used to you being confused, second-guessing yourself, questioning your instincts, checking your tone, analyzing your reactions, shrinking your presence. They don't know how to function with this version of you. The version that just knows. The version that doesn't need permission. The version that doesn't flinch when the mask drops off their face. There's something unsettling about someone who finally sees through the whole play. People get violent with their excuses. People get desperate with their narratives. People start inventing stories about you because facing the truth about themselves would break whatever ego they've been living on. And the wildest part is, you're not even mad. You're emotionally past the point where anger even makes sense. You're just awakened, like you're watching your past life dissolve while you're stepping into a version of yourself that was waiting behind your trauma like a damn shadow king. You ever get that weird moment where you hear someone lie and your brain just goes, "Bro, don't embarrass yourself like that." Because the lie isn't just false, it's pathetic. That's where you're standing now. That place where the truth is so loud, you don't even need to expose anybody. They're exposing themselves, just trying to cover their tracks. Their panic, their contradictions, their sudden kindness, their random check-ins, their forced apologies. You're reading their souls like subtitles on a screen, and that freaks them out in ways they'll never admit. Because you grew into someone they never planned for, someone they underestimated, someone they silently feared but pretended to laugh at because acknowledging your power would have shattered the little roles they assigned themselves in your life. This version of you, the one who's emotionally sharper, spiritually heavier, mentally stronger, socially colder, physically calmer. Yeah, that version terrifies people who built their entire identity around thinking you were soft. Their top secret plans weren't top secret. Their private intentions weren't private. Their whispers weren't whispers. You felt everything, every slight, every shift, every weird vibe, every subtle betrayal they thought you'd never catch. You did catch it. You caught all of it. And you adapted. You didn't scream. You didn't beg. You didn't break. You sat with it. You processed it. You let the truth mold you instead of destroy you. And that's where the real problem started for them. The moment you stopped being predictable. Because predictable people are easy to control, easy to manipulate, easy to guilt trip and gaslight and silence. But this version of you, this aware, self-respecting, emotionally armored version, this I see through all of you version, this try me and watch what happens to your whole script version. This version doesn't play by the old rules. And you can feel it. You can feel that heavy shift in your spirit where you're not forcing yourself to be liked anymore. You're not auditioning for roles that insult your character. You're not over-explaining your value to people who benefit from pretending not to see it. You're not apologizing for being intuitive, emotional, perceptive, or intense. Intensity is a gift when you know how to aim it. Emotion is a weapon when you're done letting people weaponize it against you. Awareness is a superpower when you finally stop ignoring the truth that was screaming at you the entire time. You know what's even crazier? Your presence changed. People feel you walk into a room before they see you. People pause when you speak because your tone doesn't sound confused anymore. People watch you differently because they don't know what version of you they're dealing with now. And the ones who wronged you, they feel like they're living on borrowed time every time you breathe in their direction, not because you're dangerous, but because their conscience is. And you're done carrying their guilt for them. You're done hiding their secrets. You're done protecting people who celebrated your lowest moments. You're done pretending you didn't see the daggers they threw behind your back. You're done waiting for apologies from people who would rather choke on their pride than admit they caused the wounds you healed from. Something in you snapped into place, and the version of you that came out of that moment is someone they don't have a strategy for, someone they don't have leverage over, someone they don't have access to the way they used to. Your rise is unsettling for them because it's silent but undeniable. Your growth is terrifying for them because it's steady and irreversible. Your awareness is lethal to anyone who built their safety on your silence. And you can almost feel your new self solidifying in your bones. And it's wild because you can actually feel this version of you settling in, like your spirit finally clicked into its real shape and you're sitting there going, damn, this is what it feels like to actually be me. Not the watered down version, not the polite version, Not the scared to offend version, the real one, the one you kept burying to keep the peace with people who wouldn't cross the street to keep the peace for you. There's this heavy calm in your chest now, like your heartbeat finally synced with the truth you were running from. And you're not running anymore. You're not hiding anymore. You're not flinching every time a familiar face shifts their tone because you finally get it. Your intuition wasn't being dramatic. It was being honest. You ever look back and think, blood, how did I let myself get guilt-tripped by people who can't even guilt-trip themselves into being decent? Yeah, that realization hits like a brick to the spine, and it changes you permanently. You walk different after that. Your shoulders loosen, your eyes sharpen, your boundaries slam into place without you even trying. People talk to you and you can hear the intention behind the words like subtitles. They don't even realize you're reading them in real time. And the funny part, the part that messes them up, is how calm you are about it. You're not exposing them. You're not arguing. You're not begging them to see what they did. You just exist differently. And your existence is the thing that puts pressure on their conscience. It's like your growth shines a light on every corner they tried to keep dark. Like your presence is a reminder of the version of themselves they avoided fixing. You didn't ask to be a mirror for them, but that's what you became. A mirror they can't throw away and can't look into without feeling the sting. And you're not even doing anything. You're just being honest with yourself for the first time. You're not chasing understanding from people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You're not trying to prove your worth to people who only recognized it when they wanted something from you. There's this raw confidence in you now, not loud, not flashy. More like that steady, grounded confidence where your spirit leans back in the chair and goes, yeah, I'm not shrinking again. It's a scary kind of confidence for people who thrived on your doubt. They don't know how to talk to you anymore without feeling exposed. They don't know how to lie to you without stumbling on their own script. They don't know how to manipulate you because you stopped supplying the confusion they fed on. And the moment you stopped being confused, everything they built on top of your confusion collapsed like a cheap stage set. You ever see those videos where someone pulls one brick out of a tower and the whole thing just drops? That's the energy your awareness carries now. You're not trying to take anybody down. You're just done letting anybody take you down. And the difference between those two things is massive. It changes your whole posture. Your spirit stands differently when it's done apologizing for existing. And the thing that makes you dangerous, in that quiet, animus-coded, I see everything kind of way, is how you stopped explaining yourself. You're not narrating your growth. You're not broadcasting your intentions. You're not texting paragraphs trying to defend your reactions. People don't get access to your internal world like they used to. That's what creates the panic. People get scared when they can't predict how you'll respond anymore. People get scared when the version of you they depended on doesn't live there anymore. People get scared when they realize the kindness you gave them wasn't weakness. It was mercy. And mercy has limits. You started giving your energy to things with actual meaning. You started choosing silence over arguments that don't deserve your voice. You started noticing how peaceful your life becomes when you're not carrying everyone's emotional baggage. You started recognizing that walking away is a power move, not a failure. You started realizing that being alone isn't lonely when you're finally with the version of yourself you were meant to grow into. And the thing is, people feel your absence even when you're in the same room. Your energy isn't accessible like it used to be. Your empathy isn't on discount anymore. Your attention isn't free. Your loyalty isn't automatic. Your spirit grew up. Your mind caught up. Your heart toughened up. Your awareness expanded. And the people who depended on the older version of you, the confused version, the forgiving too fast version, the self-blaming version, yeah, they don't know how to approach this one. You can almost see the fear behind their smiles, that tightness around the eyes when they realize you're not falling for the old tricks. And you're just sitting there with that calm little smirk like, yeah, I'm different. Deal with it. Your intuition is louder. Your standards are higher. Your patience is shorter. Your peace is priceless. Your self-respect is non-negotiable. And the more you embody that, the more the world shifts around you, because it has no choice but to align with the version of you that finally stepped forward through the fire without breaking. And it's kinda wild how your whole energy started radiating in a way you didn't even plan, like your soul upgraded the software overnight and you woke up running on a completely different operating system. You didn't announce it. You didn't warn anybody. You didn't post some "I'm cutting people off" speech. You just shifted quietly, naturally, unapologetically. People don't realize how dangerous quiet transformation is. Loud change can be managed, controlled, mocked, sabotaged. But quiet evolution? Yeah, that hits different. That kind of change sneaks up on everyone who thought they had you figured out. It's like you walked into the same rooms, but you weren't the same person who used to sit in those chairs. Your spirit isn't looking for approval anymore. Your intuition isn't asking for permission. Your boundaries aren't up for negotiation. You're not softening yourself to make insecure people feel taller. And there's this thing people do, you've probably seen it, where they try to pretend they don't notice your growth. Like if they ignore it long enough, maybe you'll shrink back into that smaller version of yourself. But the thing is, you can feel their discomfort the moment you walk in. Their whole vibe shifts. Their jokes fall flat. Their fake confidence starts glitching, like their personality is buffering under pressure. Because you're not reacting the way they're used to. You're not flinching when they test your boundaries. You're not validating their insecurity with your silence. You're not playing the emotional babysitter role you didn't even realize they assigned you. There's this presence you carry now. This heavy, centered, grounded energy. The kind you get when you've walked through enough emotional fire to stop fearing flames. The kind of presence that says, I'm aware, I'm awake, I'm not breakable the way you wish I still was. And yeah, that scares people. Not because you're threatening them, but because they built their comfort on the assumption that you wouldn't change. They needed you predictable. They needed you forgiving. They needed you clueless. They needed you small. But you grew. You grew past the version of yourself that they knew how to manipulate. You grew into someone who doesn't look away when the truth stares back. You grew into someone who doesn't need to be saved, fixed, validated, or chosen. And you can feel that shift in your conversations. People talk to you differently. Or more accurately, they hesitate before they talk to you.